Muhammed Wagley is a market analyst with Sasfin Securities, and he is our market commentator for today. Muhammed, welcome to On Point. Thank you so much for always being available to dissect the markets for us. Firstly, I think we have largely digested everything that happened in Parliament yesterday, but how has the market read this, and what happens to, for instance, division of revenue to provinces in this instance and municipalities? What happens to they, and where to from now as we look ahead to the 12th of March?
Well, first of all, hi, Steve. Always a pleasure to be on the show. Thank you so much for having me, and a good afternoon to yourself and to the viewers. So, yeah, I think it's probably the only place to start. It was a bit of a crazy day yesterday. In my lifetime, we've definitely never seen the budget postponed. So there's really no precedent for this sort of thing, at least no recent precedent. But I think the bottom line is they've got to go back to the drawing board, ascertain whether or not that the changes they want to implement are actually feasible, and then come back to us. Now, we don't have a view of when that's actually going to happen, but it's going to be sooner rather than later. You know, this isn't the sort of thing that you want to be dragging your feet with. So I do expect at some point in March we'll at least get guidance as to when this is going to happen. And I imagine it will happen some point in March as well. Now, it seems that the big point of contention here was the potential of a 2% increase in VAT. That would have raised nearly 60 billion rand in revenue, but needless to say, the South African consumer is actually under quite a bit of pressure already. Now, we'd have seen sort of all the corporates putting price increases directly on us, and now raising that to 17% potentially would really represent more of the same from government. And really, we're in an environment where we're actually looking for the opposite. We need a bit of respite, and we need that, especially if we're going to be hitting those growth targets, which seem, even though they're very low single digits, they're already starting to seem more and more optimistic by the day. As to why there is a need to perhaps increase the VAT, it looks like revenue projections came in slightly softer than expected. The government does need to offset that drop somewhere. But I think they've got to also consider, at this point where we are, would the outcome they're actually trying to achieve, would we get there? Because, where we are is, if another hike is actually implemented, would that incentivize consumers, business owners, etc., to relocate? Perhaps maybe they would look at spending a bit less, or in a worst case, maybe they'd look at trying to be a little bit cleverer in maybe avoiding the tax, and I think that's obviously a slippery slope. That's a scenario that the government would want to avoid, and I'm sure they're taking that into consideration. So in a nutshell, they've gone back to the drawing board. I think that's a great idea, but they still now need to figure out where to raise these funds from, and they need to do it in such a way where it's sustainable, and I'll reiterate the point, given all the increases that the consumers have had to deal with, it really would be phenomenal if we can avoid this new increase. But at the end of the day, they do need to find the revenue from somewhere. So we hope that they can come back to us at some point in March with something that is a little bit more sustainable and provides a little bit more respite for the South African consumer, because we really do need it.
Yeah, we definitely do. Muhammed, I just have really about a minute with you, unfortunately, but I just want to get your views on yesterday. We didn't get a chance to thresh out Glencore's results, 138% drop in earnings, and as well as Discovery. They also flagged a much more different picture, saying that they expect earnings of between 30 to 35%. In a quick minute, just give me your views on these two.
Yeah, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet, but you paint quite a nice contrast there. If you just listen to the Glencore commentary, you'd think that the numbers were absolutely phenomenal. But when I had a look, I came away with the opposite feeling. It looks like lower coal prices really negatively impacted them. I wasn't also very happy on their outlook on copper. There were a few other key items, but I think those things together led to a relatively negative feeling from the market. I think they were down about 7%. And then Discovery, on the other hand, was really looking good. I would say the main takeaway was that it looks like they're breaking even, or potentially even making a profit on Discovery Bank, which was a huge cash drag. And I think that was the key takeaway. So I'll probably just leave it there.
Muhammed, thank you so much. Muhammed Wagley is a market analyst, and he is with Sasfin Securities.